Hello and welcome to Round 9 coverage of Grand Prix Seattle Legacy Edition. I'm Brian David Marshall. I am joined in the booth by R&D member Adam Prosak, and along for the ride with us, manning the card viewer and sniping in occasionally, Richard Hagon.
Hello.
All right, our match this round, we've got Brian Cusick playing Eldrazi, and he's playing against Chantelle Campbell, who is playing the aforementioned Soldier Stompy deck, a deck Adam and I were pretty excited about in the lead-in to this. We saw Chantelle playing this deck earlier on day one. Let's see how it fares here on day two. Both of these players are 6-2, so these matches are going to be crucial. There's a Cavern of Souls. It's going to name Soldiers.
Oh, that's clever. That's like a combo right there.
But, you know, this is not a deck that explodes out of the gate with one-drops, really. I mean, it doesn't have that option.
Well, let's talk explosions. We got turn one Chalice of the Void from Brian. Believe it or not going to stop that much from Chantelle. Because Chantelle is also a Chalice of the Void deck. So this is actually, I think so. We see Thalia, Guardian of Thraben.
Yeah, she's got the turn two Thalia. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Now, what is the Eldrazi deck here trying to do?
So the Eldrazi deck is, if you remember Modern, plays the Eye of Ugin and Eldrazi Temple to get some explosive Eldrazi draws. In Legacy, Eye of Ugin's unbanned, so you can get stuff like Eldrazi Mimic and Endless One, which are really powered up by the Eye of Ugin.
Right, so here Eye of Ugin, you see it making 4 mana this turn for Brian Cusick, where you get to play the Eldrazi Mimic for free, and then you get to make 3 cast to cost.
Here's Preeminent Captain.
Oh, boy!
I'm not surprised that Brian has to read it, because we have to read it as well. Let's bring that up on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
it's on the way.
So like a Daru Warchief coming into play here.
There we go.
It could be pretty huge. But there's also cards like Captain of the Watch.
Captain of the Watch is the big one. That's the big prize. So let's see if Thought Not Seer reveals any of them.
There's a Captain of the Watch.
Look, we found a Captain of the Watch, which is basically the Soldier deck's Siege Gang commander.
Okay, let's get that up for you. Hang on.
There's also another Preeminent Captain and a Suppression Field, it looks like.
Yeah, Suppression Field, one of the reasons that Soldier Stompy is, white, they get to play a lot of disruptive cards. Thalia is very strong. Suppression Field stops people from using fetch lands and Deathrite Shamans and the such.
Oh, does Preeminent Captain have the first strikes?
It does. First strike.
It does!
Yeah.
So there you see.
So, Brian kind of attacking into a wall of first strike, maybe not be as familiar with the cards.
Oh, there's another Thalia.
Team Thalia.
But can't really attack into that Thought Not Seer. But we saw Chantelle do this yesterday. She actually the same matchup, more or less, on camera. It was more of a 12-post version of the Eldrazi deck, but was holding off Thought Not Seers with first striking enlistment officers. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. Reality Smasher usually enters the battlefield tapped, but
not
attacking.
This
way. So Thalia... Heretic Cathar makes Reality Smasher enter the battlefield tapped. So.
All right, so there's a second Preeminent Captain. And this is just a giant wall of first strike.
Yeah,
it's
wall
so
of
funny.
first strike.
First strike's kind of been a weird theme on camera this weekend. We also saw in the last round of the Swiss yesterday a player not be able to get the last couple points of damage of lifelink through that would let him survive a Marit Lage. Because 2 Vampire Hex Mages were holding off his Shambling Vet.
Nice. Combat keywords in Legacy. Who would have thought?
All right, 3 Preeminent Captains.
So
that's a lot of first strike,
need to find an enlistment officer and fast.
So yeah, Brian also seems to be just basically out of cards. Really, not much to do.
Except Eye of Ugin will eventually change that.
And I think that's the reason you don't see Brian sacrifice his Wastelands. He could potentially put down Chantelle down to 2 mana, but he's really nope. I need Eye of Ugin for the long game. So he's 6/5.
Well, there's Suppression Field.
That's going to make it a little bit more challenging.
Right. Chantelle, no doubt, thinking about that Eye of Ugin as well. Yeah. And Eye of Ugin's search is not a mana ability.
Okay, because that was the obvious question. I just wanted to illuminate that. Because often unless their mana abilities are specifically designed to get you round things like that, that's a good bit of legalese.
Looks like I've never seen this many. It's like we found the dog collars that are like the electric dog collars. They put it around and the dog can't go past.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what this is like here. The Reality Smasher just wants to attack, but it's just like.
I think it's more of a you must be this tall
Yeah.
to attack. 8/8, almost big enough.
Almost.
And yet not.
What cards does Brian have that can disrupt this wall? Eventually, Ulamog does some work.
Right, there are 2 copies of Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, 3 copies of Endbringer. So either one of those would be amazing draws for Brian.
It's a good bet that right now at 10:14 in the morning, we're actually seeing the game that will be the winner of the which game on camera had the most number of permanents in play.
We could see some Enchantress decks. We could see some Dredge decks with a bunch of zombie tokens.
I would like to see the Enchantress deck.
I don't know if we will get one.
There was one in the field. We found an Enchantress deck. Yeah.
Oh, here they come.
Okay.
I'm sick of this first striking.
Right, and the reality is, Brian might lose a creature here, but Chantelle needs to put so many creatures in front of any one of these that he's going to be able to start whittling down her life total and losing some creatures along the way.
There's not. Let me make sure. I don't believe there is. There's one copy of Warping Whale that might be able to be. That's the only instant in the whole deck.
One copy?
One copy.
Interaction at its finest.
Do we think Brian has drawn the one Warping Whale? Oh, there's also a Dismember.
Which member?
That member.
Okay.
So 1 Reality Smasher down, 3 Preeminent Captains down as a result of that Dismember.
Okay, yeah, there are 2 Dismembers.
Yeah, 2 Dismembers, 2 Warping Whales.
Yeah.
There were multiple Eldrazi deck lists in front of us.
That is true. So there's... Yeah.
So now Brian has clearly swung this back in his favor. And Chantel's going to need to find something here. And again, as long as this game keeps going, eventually Brian's going to find enough mana to be able to activate that Eye of Ugin, even if... We may have found the Kryptonite to the Soldier Stompy deck. Because this is also the deck she lost to early on in day 1.
Is that a Walking Ballista? If so...
Oh, yeah, that's also...
could be sufficient.
I'd imagine that does it.
I swear, Chantelle, we don't wait until you're paired up against an Eldrazi deck to feature you. She has this look like, they did it again.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Notice how Rich subtly placed all the blame on me.
There was nothing subtle about the way I did that. I thought it was really clear cut.
Okay, so we see Eye of Ugin tap for mana via Urborg. Then a second Eye of Ugin enter the battlefield. So it can tap for mana. And then a Walking Ballista looks like for 2 counters.
Oh, so just having a little discussion with the judge. Meanwhile, update from chat. A lot of you asking about Luis Scott Vargas. How did he do yesterday? Well, he had a very good day. He went 7-1. And no, he's not playing Elves, which he won Pro Tour Berlin with in 2008. He is playing the Lands deck. So that's what LSV's on. I'm sure that if he continues to win, we will be seeing him in the feature match.
I thought it was very funny when we saw him on camera yesterday. He was playing against the Elves deck.
Right. Yeah, so Luis is 7-1 right now.
Right. Walking Ballista is just pinging away here.
So Suppression Field coming into play multiple times. So Brian has to pay 2 to use his Walking Ballista. And then Chantelle has to pay 2 to activate her Crocus to save it. But in the grand scheme of things, this is all relevant as Brian has a a huge board of creatures that he can attack for lethal with.
All right, so welcome along to Good Morning Magic. It's Rich Hagan alongside Brian David Marshall, the Proto Historian, and the voice you may not recognize quite so frequently is Adam Prozac from Inside R&D. Great to have him with us. He'll be with us all day as we head through 10 rounds of Legacy. We did 8 yesterday. You'll see 7 rounds of Swiss today. Coming up later in the day, Marshall Sutcliffe and Reed Duke will be in harness. Reed was fantastic yesterday. I know a lot of you who were with us yesterday commented on how much fun it was to have a real in-the-trenches pro expert who really loves their Legacy like Reed. And we've got a lot of insight from him and plenty more coming your way. But we're heading for game number 2. So we've got some deck lists over there, and I guess we start working out where these two players might head next.
So
well, I imagine both of them are going to get their Chalice of the Voids the heck out of their decks.
yeah, so this is a matchup where these two decks have more cards they would like to take out of their deck than cards they want to bring in. Chantelle has some really awesome Legacy cards like Armageddon's, and some also more recent cards like Cast Out that might help cover all of her bases.
How do you like Selfless Squire in this matchup where you're getting swung at for a huge amount of damage and can flash in a Selfless Squire?
Sure, I could see Selfless Squire being... Not sure. I think it'll come in because of how many cards. Although Chantelle has fewer cards that are actively really poor, like the Suppression Fields and the Chalices are the ones you really want to take out.
For those of you who don't know, Selfless Squire, 3 and a white. It's a 1/1 human soldier with flash. When it enters the battlefield, there we are, on your screen, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. And then whenever damage that would be dealt to you is prevented, you get to put that many +1/+1 counters on Selfless Squire. So it's a 1/1, but not for very long, hopefully.
So it has the weaknesses against Thought Knot Seer. Although I would imagine Brian's not expecting it. Selfless Squire is not a card I would have expected to see on camera here. And hopefully we get to see it on camera. I would bring it in if I was Chantelle because of how many cards she wants to take out. But it also has the potential to just be a huge blowout.
Yeah, just to steal a game, right?
Absolutely. You just like, okay, you're going to deal me lethal? No thanks, I'll deal you lethal. And for Brian, he has a couple nice cards. He has 2 Allah's Dust.
Ooh.
So that'll... Brian's creatures are colorless. Chantelle's are white. That's not colorless, so Allah's Dust will get them all. And 2 copies of Umezawa's Jit, which can be really, really powerful. But Brian has to deal the first... If Brian struggles with the Wall of First Strike again,
right,
the GTA won't get its counters.
And there really are not a lot of creatures in Chantelle's deck that don't have First Strike. I mean, this is definitely Legacy keyword.
Yeah, First Strike Tribal.
Yeah. Umezawa's Jet. What a card that is.
That's a nice card.
And every time you kind of forget about it, it kind of, you're like, oh, okay. And then you're just re-traumatized when you see it.
Right. It is it is an absurdly powerful Magic card, but not always in the way that Legacy games go. They're not all about creature combat. Creature combat is a nightmare against an Umezawa's Jit.
Have you ever beaten anybody with an Umezawa's Jit in their sealed pool? No, you haven't.
Well,
no.
Yeah, they didn't draw it.
GT. There you go. We can stop now, chat. You can stop.
I'm assuming he knows the correct pronunciation.
And you can stop too. I'm trying to...
Brian David Marshall, honorary chat member.
I'm trying to move past the 4,000 comments about how to pronounce that artifact. Here comes game number 2, and here's the ever-helpful Brian David Marshall alongside R&D's Adam Prozac.
I see a ratchet. Is that a ratchet bomb on the left?
Yeah, Ratchet Bomb is a card in Brian's deck. It wasn't sure. It might be one of those I have too many cards to take out type of thing. But Chantelle's creatures are like 2 and 3 and 4, and all sorts of different mana costs, so it's not likely to be super effective, but it's probably just better.
Yeah, but it was a card that did a lot of work against Chantelle on day 1, playing again in the same matchup. Had the great defensive Wall of First Strike up.
Yep.
But Ratchet Bombs therefore had enough time to get to 3 and 4 and sort of wipe them out. So
if you get another stalled out game. That being said, I don't think Brian will have trouble with these kind of stalled out games. Like, he does have, I think, a better late game. He does have the Endbringers, the Walking Ballistas,
I mean, just being able to eye for the Ulamogs also just really changes things.
And the super late game is where the Eye of Ugin comes into play and gets those aforementioned cards.
Is the super late game like the last thing, or is there an awesome mega super late game that happens even later than the super late game?
I think there's just a super late game.
Okay, so that's
in the grand scheme of things. If Brian's activating Eye of Ugin, he's going to win.
Okay.
And Chantelle doesn't have anything that can compete with that.
Yeah, there's the suppression field, which makes it a little more difficult to get to.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually.
And he's not playing like a 12-post deck version of this.
Correct.
Doesn't have that ability also to just really generate those huge amount of mana. He's really doing the tribal mana synergies.
Right. There's really two different types of Eldrazi decks. There's one that tries to go to the huge Emrakuls and Ulamogs and stuff like that, or Brian's deck, which is more lower to the ground, tries to get lots of mana out of Eye of Ugin.
Yeah. So three drops on both sides. Matter Reshaper from Brian Cusick. Chantelle has a Recruiter of the Guard.
Yeah.
So
Recruiter of the Guard, the white Imperial Recruiter. It searches up a
based on toughness, right?
Yes. Instead of power, it gets a 2 toughness or less creature.
And
it gets another. I guess this is a conspiracy card. Palace Jailer.
Yeah, Palace Jailer means we're going to see
the
Monarch. Yes. I mean, and like if you've never been the Monarch, you just haven't played Magic.
The Monarch is nice. The only bad part about the Monarch is sometimes you're not the Monarch.
See, this is Americans getting excited about royalty. We just have royalty, so we don't need it in a game.
All right, there's a Thought-Knot Seer, and that's going to take the Palace Jailer for sure. Although there is a cast out as well.
There's an enlistment officer as well.
Well, what would you take here?
I think it would depend on the rest of Brian's hand. I think the Palace Jailer and enlistment officer are both great choices. I would not take the cast out here. Enlistment officer kind of gives Chantelle like a ton of cards, including maybe another Palace Jailer. But yeah, Palace Jailer is also really threatening to draw Chantelle 2 cards, one for being the Monarch, one for taking the Thought-Knot Seer.
Oh yeah. Right. So if you're the Monarch at the end of each turn, if you're
still the
Monarch, draw a card.
And then the way you become not the Monarch is if anybody deals you combat damage, they get to be the Monarch instead.
It's such a weird mechanic. It's so weird to see that infiltrate Legacy, this commander mechanic.
It's a great conspiracy mechanic for. But yeah, in Legacy, it's just weird. It's like white card draw. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we won't get to see Palace Jailer. That was a card selected by Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah. So we got some.
Yeah, another Cavern of Souls comes down. They're just going to name Soldier. 2 cast outs in hand now for Chantelle. And she's going to fire up that enlistment officer.
I got to tell you,
another first striker.
A lot of people in chat are saying maybe he just lost this game here. He needed to take the officer. Several people are saying this.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
There's Selfless Squire and Thalia.
Oh, no.
He's going to read it.
The gate's up. All right, Brian.
Think it's unlikely that he'll attack before playing a Thought-Knot Seer now?
Well, so there's some way if you just attack for a small, modest amount, and if you have no other way to get through it, just attack for 3, attack for 4.
When they don't know it's coming, do you actually cast it and go, Squire Prize? Is that a thing?
No.
That's sad.
I'm not really the expert.
I'd have been ready to play that deck just for that.
Well, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, well, let's see what Chantelle does. I'll consider Chantelle the expert on the Squire.
Wow, and in hand for Brian Cusick, I see a lot of different answers here. It looks like a pair of Ratchet Bombs, a Dismember, and an Umezawa's Jitte.
That's pretty. So, the thing about the Jitte is the Eye of Ugin doesn't help equip it. Your classic double mana land. There's also a whole bunch of cards in Brian's hand that just get shut down by the suppression field. That Jitte is really expensive to use. If you have 2 to cast, 4 to equip,
Right.
and 2 to remove one of its counters. That's really pricey.
Yeah, Ratchet Bomb.
Ratchet
Ratchet Bomb, the
Bomb's
tax is pretty high.
Yeah.
I'd like to put a counter on my Ratchet Bomb. Can I fill out an application to the bank?
Yeah. Okay, so Matter Reshaper gets in despite the presence of this 2/3 first striker. So we'll probably see a cast out from Chantelle. That makes sense. Goodbye, Thought Not Seer. I would like my card back.
I wonder if he was thinking about maybe dismembering a Selfless Squire
Oh,
in response to the
interesting.
trigger. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll give a mid-range Selfless Squire, attack, and then, with that 7 counters going on the stack.
Right. So Brian, I think, just wanted the extra card from his Matter Reshaper. He knew he was going to get chump blocked, but he got an Eldrazi Temple off of the Matter Reshaper's trigger, which is a huge game here.
All right, there's the Ratchet Bomb.
Do you think the cast out counts as us covering standard on day 2? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I count
I
it.
think right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed that little live look in standard.
No.
I got to tell you, I'm seeing more cast out in Legacy than I've seen in Standard lately.
Yeah, I see a lot of it in Standard, so I'm sure more cast out will be cast
There's a lot of
in
it
the
on
Standard
Arena.
Grand Prix. Yep, so, yeah, Brian doesn't have much to do through the suppression
All
field.
right, here's
and
another recruiter. Yeah, so
Oh, can we see another Palace Jailer? I hope so.
I think we might see something. We could see like a Captain of the Watch here, depending on how much.
Yeah, I can
Mana
see
she
Captain
has.
of the Watcher and Enlistment Officer both being good options.
No,
Palace Jailer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Magic players like to draw cards, and there's really
also
little threat of the Eldrazi deck right now. There's little threat of it becoming the Monarch, stealing the monarchy.
Yeah,
no,
Brian
no
plays one
coup.
creature. Chantelle can Palace Jailer, become the Monarch, and probably stay the Monarch for a while. Because Brian played the Ratchet Bomb, kind of means he doesn't have too many creatures.
All right, there's
All right,
Thalia,
so-
and now soldiers get to stomp now. In comes the Enlistment Officer.
Yeah, so Brian draws a Mishra's Factory. Has a
Really?
Yeah. I think it's his only land. There it is. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that is.
Big Mishra Factory fan.
I am a big Mishra Factory fan. I'm not a huge, white bordered Mishra Factory fan.
Don't make me show all the versions. Just
We
that's
did
the
that
one
yesterday.
you get.
Oh, that's the
all right.
That's the one.
That's the
Why don't you just
worst.
show me Urza's Factory, Rich? I mean, jeez.
Mishra's Factory is famous for having, I don't know, like 6 or 7 different things because there's 4 in Antiquities. And then a bunch more. Urza's Factory, not relevant to this match, but
But what a lovely thing to put on a screen.
yeah,
There you go.
one of the original Mishra's Factory arts. One
Yeah.
of 4.
Kaja and Phil Foglio. It's really great stuff. All right. Chantel rumbles into the red zone
Yeah,
here.
here comes.
She's got an Armageddon.
Oh, wow.
She's-
Oh, nice.
She's got an Armageddon.
Oh, here we go.
This is. I love Armageddon.
So do I.
All right.
The best Bruce Willis movie.
I was talking about the Magic card.
Oh, okay.
Dismember
It's a
takes
great
down the
Magic
Thalia.
Boom. I love the A25 or the 25th anniversary version. It is so clean.
Is Chantel going to pull the trigger?
I
here?
would. Maybe it's got some other stuff to do in the meantime.
Cycles cast out, yes.
All right. I'll.
Ooh.
No. No. Okay. All
Oh,
right.
wait, I think we're getting a check on whether or not suppression field. Oh, yeah, that's mine. That's
Oh, so suppression field might make cycling cost extra.
Yep. It's not a mana ability.
Wow, that's costly.
That is costly.
In a literal sense, yes.
And a figurative sense.
Yeah.
So Chantelle doesn't get to cast Armageddon, so Brian gets to start.
and now
his turn with
now she's
lands.
cycled her cast out. So if Brian can land something here,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
got an arrow responder in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Not another card we That card did not even see play in its standard.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a second copy of Ratchet Bomb.
So Brian has another Dismember, and I believe he has a Jite and... Okay, so he doesn't really have much going on, even if this Armageddon takes out all the lands.
Which,
It
here
will.
it goes. Armageddon. Yes. Chantelle says, Armageddon out of here.
Oh, God.
C-.
When people ask in chat, why aren't we showing the 8 and O's with their 4-color Delver and the 4-color level? This is why. Because we want to show you people doing things like Armageddon and Palace Jailer and Enlistment Officer.
I mean, Armageddon seems like the perfect card for this matchup.
Seems pretty good. If you can get...
Assuming you can deal with the creatures or...
Mm-hmm. So more like I would rather have Armageddon against like a lands deck. So Dismember takes out an Enlistment Officer.
You're just greedy and not very nice.
And so now...
This is not a concession. This is just a lot of permanents dying.
Yeah, and now Recruiter of the Guard has to close the game over the next 6 turns.
That's what we're talking about right there. Proper magic.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 6 turns. Says I don't really see either of them really doing. Or maybe Brian gets an Eldrazi Mimic as a 2/1 to block, but we're kind of just hanging out here for a while. Otherwise,
Smash.
Smash is a very
This
generous
is
term.
much more of a smish.
Yeah.
A smoosh.
Smish.
Plink. Smish. Plink. Okay, we're going with Plink. All right, here we go. And...
Chantelle's going to be discarding to hand size pretty soon.
5, 6. Yep.
Oh, poor Daru War Chief. Brian's drawing his card, going, not like this. Please, not like this.
Yeah, there it is.
All
All right, there's a land.
Plink.
Plink.
Brian at 2.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Go.
I mean, it's so funny is it's just this deck is so atypical of what you think of as a white creature deck because there isn't anything you can play on 1 or 2 mana.
Close my eyes.
So
I don't want to fall asleep and I miss you, babe.
the theme song
wanna miss a thing.
to a movie that is based on the Armageddon card.
I'm glad you explained that to them. That was very thoughtful of you. You are watching Good Morning Magic, and it really is Good Morning Magic. Start your day with Armageddon right here at the home of Magic. Brian Cusick won, Chantelle Campbell won. Coming up, by the way, in the feature match area, Athena Froehlich, who actually beat Chantelle on day 1. She's at 6-2 with her 12-post Eldrazi deck. Going to take a look.
Very similar
at
to the
that.
deck Brian's playing.
Yeah.
With a different...
Also very different.
Different take to the mana base.
Right. Brian wants to be using his stuff to play out a bunch of early aggressive disruptive creatures, whereas Athena's deck wants to be like casting Ulamogs and
yeah, but weirdly she also has the Eldrazi Mimic and the Reality Smasher and the Eye of Ugin kind of openings.
Yeah, they have a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
Between them, but fundamentally they're both Eldrazi deck, but like kind of different spots on the aggressive control spectrum.
Yeah.
that is the face of someone who just cast Armageddon and attacked for 7 turns with a 1/1.
Yeah.
So I don't know which I would be more happy about, the fact that I got to cast Armageddon on camera in a Legacy Grand Prix, or winning a game by attacking with a 1/1 7 times. I'll give a slight edge to the Armageddon play.
Kongao Shan in chat says, day 2 of a Legacy GP, there's something kind of pure about seeing 2 people playing Magic and smiling. And it's true, a lot of the time on coverage there's so much on the line, and of course there is today as well, $10,000 to the winner, slots of the Pro Tour, Pro Points and so on. It is a serious business, a lot of people have got a lot on the line, but it is possible to have fun whilst being competitive and reducing your opponent to almost no permanence and hitting them 7 times with a 1/1 and killing them. And inflicting serious psychological harm for years to come.
And
Brian does not look like he has been inflicted serious psychological harm. He's shrug it off. Right on cue, he shrugged it off.
Right, he's like, I've done some broken stuff with my deck this weekend.
Right.
I deserved this. I know what I did.
That's one of the joys of Legacy. You have all this absurdly powerful stuff, and then you have all these enabling cards and all this stuff, and like at some point, kind of just stop each other from doing what the decks are capable of.
Ooh, well, there's a turn 1 Umezawa's Jitte.
Mm-hmm. And probably the one of the few cards in Brian's deck that actually makes Jitte economical, Ancient Tomb. All right, Chrome Mox, Ancient Tomb. Oh, no.
Preeminent Captain?
I think she just realized that she wants to... She paused there about, like, what do I imprint?
Oh, and there is Thalia.
Yep.
Heretic Cathar.
That's a nice turn 1 card.
That really is.
I'll bring that up for you.
So
there we
Brian's lands will enter the battlefield tap because he doesn't have.
He doesn't have any basics, does he?
I did not see. There's wasteland, but not wastes.
Yeah.
So all of his lands enter tapped, and once he's a turn behind on casting his creatures, those creatures will enter tapped. So he'll be 2 turns behind on blocking, essentially. And see if Chantelle can follow it up with anything impressive.
It looks like she has another Recruiter of the Guard.
Believe that, but we will see.
Yeah, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben is the play, so she's going to put a little bit of a tax on Brian, too.
Team Thalia.
Thalia Tribal.
Well, it's Soldier Tribal, but all the Thalias are soldiers.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, wow, that wasteland.
Yeah, Chantelle only has 1 land, but...
All right, there's a Mattery Shaper for Brian Cusick, which is going to be able to hold a Jitte. Now, she can draw a white source. I believe she has a Palace Jailer in hand.
How about an Ancient Tomb? So 5 mana for Chantelle, but only 1 of it white. Attacking with just... Sounds like attacking with just 1 creature makes sense here, so you can hold a first striker back on defense. As we said when we were talking about sideboarding, Umezawa's Jitte, not very good against first strike, but really good if you can get 1 through. So Chantelle...
So, by the way, almost all the damage in this game being done by people's Ancient Tombs.
Thalias do some damage, so Recruiter of the Guard comes out for Chantelle. Palace Jailer has been her go-to, but she can't cast Palace Jailer right now, so be interesting to see what she ends up getting with it. How about a Preeminent Captain?
Yeah. More first strike.
If you can't cast your Palace Jailers, just cheat it into play.
Captain attacking and take something out, become the Monarch. That's a lot for 1 attack step from a Preeminent Captain.
Yeah, so this doesn't have to even deal combat damage, just has to attack.
So you're saying it's better than Goblin Lackey?
I'm not saying that.
By the way, Rashad is quietly like rubbing his fingers together as he's like, I'm going to build this deck and play it.
No attacks from Chantelle.
Yeah, she's just going to keep the...
Deathly afraid of the Umezawa's Jitte.
Yeah, it just tears her apart here.
Right, so leaving 2 first strike creatures back. Oh, Thought Not Seer.
Thought Not Seer looks at Palace Jailer, Aerial Responder, not a likely candidate to be taken here.
Captain of the Watch.
Yeah, and the Preeminent Captain. Brian's going to take the Captain.
Right, so you have a couple options. Take one of the powerful double white cards, Palace Jailer or Captain of the Watch, and you don't have to deal with that. Or take the Preeminent Captain and hope Chantelle doesn't draw a second white source.
Now, how many mana sources does Chantelle play?
So white sources, 4 Cavern of Souls, 2 Karakas, 8 basic planes, and 4 Chrome Mox.
Okay.
So decent number.
Yeah, she's pretty likely to find one.
Brian getting a nice, personal spoiler season. Just gets to preview all the cards he hasn't seen before. So Preeminent Captain gets exiled by Thought Not Seer. And he's on the please don't draw a second white source land.
Oh, and the second Aerial Responder is
yeah.
not the pick, not the draw there for Chantelle.
Yeah, this is getting a little dicey. I think Chantelle had it locked up with a white source on this turn, but now let's put the advantage bar on Brian.
Yeah, Reality Smasher getting ready to join the party. And we saw this in game one. We're also where, like, if Brian can just get enough big creatures onto the battlefield and attack with them at once, it becomes really difficult for Chantelle, who has to commit 2 and 3 creatures with first strike per attacking creature. It becomes very difficult for her to stay
Right.
to maintain her defenses
Brian's
beyond one
creatures
turn.
are just larger.
Yeah. So there's an endless one.
So the endless 4/4 enters the battlefield tapped because of Chantelle's Thalia. One of Chantelle's Thalias.
Yeah.
For those of you
Oh no, a third Ancient Tomb. It's like the
Chantelle
Tomb
really
retirement
wanted to
home
draw
here.
a land. I actually really like holding this. Lots of
Because of the
reasons.
Armageddon.
Also, Armageddon's one. Inducing a Wasteland might be another.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, Brian's really trying to fade Captain of the Watch. Well, Wasteland would help him do that. So Chantelle holding the Wasteland, lots of good reasons to do that.
All right. Well, he's gonna put.
yeah.
There's a Dismember in Brian's hand, so this is. Oh.
There's Caracas.
Instantly goes on the battlefield. Be very interested. So Palace Jailer is the first one to come pay us a visit.
So there's the Jailer.
All right.
He's gonna take out the Thought-Knot Seer, and this is something you described as, drawing 2 cards. Because now she draws a card from, and look at that. There's the Monarch token.
That was really kind of Chantelle to bring a Monarch token.
Thoughtful. Did you bring one for everybody?
Well, you only need one.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you do share it.
So now at the end of the turn, draws another card.
I do believe that is a Dismember. So that still enters tapped.
Yeah, that's definitely a Dismember.
Yeah, I think there's a very good endless one attack here.
So first time in the booth here, Adam, have you noticed the thing where you try to crane your neck to see cards around the screen, and it doesn't actually work? You don't actually get it.
Oh, it does work. I don't know what you're talking about. Works great.
That's one of the play design powers they give you, apparently.
Yeah, it's on our it's on our test.
Sweet.
Yeah, you have to look at cards from this angle to see if you can pick out what they are. So Aerial Responder, take it to the air. And then
A Suppression Field, which is
that
a really good card here for Chantelle to draw.
yeah, very very good specifically against the Umerzawa's Jite.
Yeah. Just puts a tax on removing the counters, on equipping it.
Yep. It's already equipped, but yeah, it's still.
Well, I mean, like moving it around, yeah.
2 mana per counter is just too much. Oh, wow. So I think advantage bar back to Chantelle. Like, she found her second and third.
And she's drawing 2 cards a turn.
Right, and she's a Monarch. So extra card a turn. Brian doesn't have a really good way to become the Monarch.
Can Chantelle find another Armageddon? She only has 2 in her sideboard.
I don't think she needs to. I think this Aerial Responder, and because she has 2 in hand and a Captain of the Watch.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think Chantelle needs to stop Brian from casting spells. Like, he's not doing it even though he has a bunch of lands. Yeah, this one.
All right.
I will attack
Flying, Vigilance, and Lifelink.
Vampire Lighthawk making an appearance.
I always went with Dayhawk.
Dayhawk, okay.
Yeah.
I prefer rhyming things, but
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Yeah,
Jayhawk.
it's more of a throwback to Daywalker in the Blade movies. All right, so. Oh, by the way, I'm going to draw a card.
Oh, interesting. So, Chantelle is not playing any additional cards. Perhaps in fear of Allah's Dust.
Oh, interesting. Yes, of course.
And maybe she has the Selfless Squire as well too, because that actually is pretty good against Allah's Dust. So Brian's playing for it. Brian's like, okay, dismember your Thalia.
That puts
That's
him
what
down
I
to
can.
3.
Big moment here for Brian Cusick.
Oh, yeah, that's an Eldrazi temple. Does he have the Allah's Dust? Because with Allah's Dust, if he has Allah's Dust, he can play Eldrazi temple, has 7 lands, can sweep Chantel's side of the board, goes to, oh, it enters tapped. Oh, that's so bad. And I don't even think he has it, but maybe that's it.
Is it handshake time?
Not yet.
Okay.
There's another Palace Jailer. And remember, it might involve him tapping his Ancient Tomb, too.
Right.
Oh, there's a Daru War
Chief, my hero.
Attack for 3 with,
There's the handshake time. Chantelle takes it down. Wow, that's surprising. Like, Chantel's deck has such smaller creatures. It is, and they're very similar decks. I was very surprised Chantelle was able to pull out from a massive matchup disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, what's really interesting to me about the 2 times we've seen this deck on camera is how vital First Strike is to this deck.
That's crazy.
It's such a weird thing that you don't expect to see in Legacy. Like, oh, okay. Oh, do you have a Thought Knot Seer? No, it can't attack me.
Yeah, in the lands of Dark Rituals and Gristlebrands and Emrakuls, here comes my First Strike theme deck. And somehow it is strangely effective. Chantel's 7-2.
Yeah,
great position.
To be fair, when we put the cards up on the right-hand side of the screen, every time you type in Ponder into Gatherer, you get Aerial Responder.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I never thought I would actually need to put that card up for real, just on, in a Legacy GP. Really? Okay. Yep, here's my limited, very powerful card.
It's really off theme because, one, it doesn't have First Strike.
Yeah.
But it has a ton of other keywords.
It has all the other things.
So you got to get your keyword quota.
Would you say this is the deck that has the most keywords in the Legacy format? Like the most instances of a creature ability?
It's literally front runner. Yeah.
Okay, well, the good news is that in the feature match area, Chantelle is waiting for us patiently. Hello, Chantelle. It's Rich Hagan, Brian David Marshall, and Adam Prozac here. Congratulations, 7-2. Good start to the day. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Now, we saw you on camera yesterday playing against Athena Froehlich in a similar kind of matchup, and it looked like quite hard work for you, and we thought perhaps it was a bad matchup. How did you feel when you saw what Brian was playing?
I was a little nervous, but I think Soldiers actually has a pretty decent matchup against the regular Eldrazi, not the 12-post larger Eldrazi. It's funny, I actually think I misboarded against Athena yesterday because I boarded out my aerial responders.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, the board gets super clogged up and you need flyers, so today I made sure to keep them in.
It has to be a real kind of fan moment when, I guess one of the appeals to the deck is when you get to play Armageddon in Game 2. I mean, just obviously anytime you get a win, that's great. But to do it that way and then 7 attacks with your little 1-1, that's pretty sweet magic, right?
Oh, it feels so good. Armageddon's been an all-star. I was only running 1, and then we're like, no, you need a second for sure.
We had a great time in the booth watching Armageddon.
Chantelle, this is Brian. Can you tell me about how you have arrived upon playing this deck? Because it seems so counter to everything we expect from the Legacy format.
I've actually been on it for a while. I played it last year in GP Vegas, and I narrowly missed day 2. I don't actually remember how I stumbled upon it, but it's kind of been like my baby for a long time. And then at a Legacy SCG recently, someone did a 7-2 day 1, and I was like, I think it's well positioned. Yeah.
How important is it to you that Legacy is a format, but by its nature, people play the same deck for 5, 10, 15 years, is sometimes at a stretch. How important is it that I guess a lot of your opponents are reading quite a lot of your cards because they don't really feature anywhere else in Legacy?
Absolutely. I was saying yesterday, I think 75% of the deck's advantage is that people have no idea what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, someone Toxic Deluged me for 2, and I had out Enlistment Officer, which is a 2/3, and they just didn't realize, and that ended up winning me the game.
Yep, it's right there on the card, but if you don't read it, you don't know, because why would you need to know that that's a 2/3?
One of the things we've commented on both times you've been in the feature match area is how game-altering First Strike is.
Oh, it's huge. Like I'm not super familiar with Legacy, but it seems very creature-based right now, outside of your super linear combo decks, and so having First Strike can just halt so many shenanigans.
Yep, seems like a preeminent strategy, one might say. All right, so Chantelle, thanks so much for being a part of Good Morning Magic. Best of luck with the rest of the day. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks
a
so
lot.
much.
Chantelle Campbell down there in the feature match area, advancing to 7-2 with Soldier Stompy Armageddon for the win. All right, we're going to calm down for a few minutes, but when we come back, there'll be more action from our recorded matches in round number 9. Don't you go anywhere. Rich, Brian, and Adam here with you for Good Morning Magic, and boy did we have a great start to the day with Armageddon and Soldier Stompy getting it done for Chantelle Campbell. She lost yesterday to Athena Froehlich playing 12 post Eldrazi, and Athena is also in the feature match area this round. Why don't we see how she got on in round number 9? Let's head it down, and Time Walk game number 1 is underway in the company of Brian David Marshall and Adam Prozac.
Thanks, Rich. All right, Athena kicks things off here with an Ancient Tomb card we've seen a fair amount of this round.
It's a strong card.
One of the so-called Sol lands in Magic. And there we see Sorceress Spyglass, card that gets to take a look at the hand from Toshiya Kanegawa.
So that is 6 lands and a gamble. And shockingly, he's playing a deck called Lands.
So Lands is a deck that plays somewhere in the 30s of lands. Wants to play Exploration and Light from the Loam to get a ton of lands into play. The goal being to end up with a Dark Depths and a Thespian Stage. The Thespian Stage could copy the Dark Depths, and you sacrifice both lands and make a 20/20 Merit Lage token.
Yeah, this deck has sort of has been a staple of Legacy for some time, but it's changed as we've moved upward towards having this Thespian Stage combo.
Yep.
So there we see a Ghost Quarter taking out the Ancient Tomb.
Athena, no basic lands. So Ghost Quarter actually gets to be extra wastelands.
I wonder what Athena named with the Sorcerer's Spyglass?
Because this is Time Walk, we can't ask them. But just worth mentioning, she drew a Trinisphere that turn. That's actually what she used to beat Chantelle Campbell yesterday. Trinisphere really did do a number on Soldier Stompy.
And there she goes with Simian Spirit Guide helping power out Grim Monolith into Trinisphere. Now, does Trinisphere have a big impact on the lands deck, which is not necessarily... Oh, she said Wasteland.
Oh,
and then got Ghost Quartered.
Wow. It can once you get the Life from the Loam, but, playing land is not affected by Trinisphere.
What happens if you say Thespian Stage against this deck?
I believe you can shut off the combo if you would like.
Yeah, I'm saying, how many ways do they have to interact with you game 1?
Mm-hmm. You look at it, the Spyglass is definitely one of them.
No, I meant from the lands deck. If you have the Spyglass, can they win?
Oh yeah, they have the combination of Grove of the Burn Willows and Punishing Fire.
So they just do one cycle.
They have multiple ways to win. Toshiya also has 2 Tireless Trackers.
Nice.
So he wants to get his.
That's sweet in the lands deck.
Yeah, if you got all these lands. I mean, it's basically a ton of lands and then cards that are good if you play a ton of lands. Exploration, Gamble gets you your Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam's one of the most important cards in the deck. It's really hard to function without getting... That's how you get up on cards in this deck.
So now, with the Trinisphere, something like Gamble can't be cast until Toshiya gets up to 3 lands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as Trinisphere is untapped, each spell that would cost less than 3 mana to play costs 3 mana to play.
Athena doesn't play a lot of those 3 mana spells. Less than 3 mana spells, I should say. So there's a Thought-Knot Seer. Sees a pair of Gambles now, and that Life from the Loam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is interesting. So Toshiya's threatening to assemble Thespian Stage with Dark Depths. That's the kind of the thing he's actively looking to get in. There's 3 cards that help him do that. So if you gamble for a card, say Thespian Stage, and discard it, whatever, Life from the Loam gets it back.
And then it's hard to take the Life from the Loam with 2 gambles because then you just gamble for a Life from the Loam.
Right. So,
all right, here we see finally going to crack the Windswept Heath, possibly go get a red source. Yep, there's a Taiga.
Our first fetch land of the day.
Is that your first fetch land? Wow.
No, yeah. Well,
because we didn't see any. Yeah, we didn't see any in
our
that
last match.
That's crazy. I think we buried the lead on our match.
Yeah.
It was a fetch landless first round of the day that we saw.
So gamble for 3 mana. Toshiya gets a card that nobody knows about, except for him.
As you can tell, we're just fast-forwarding a little bit here because there is only one match outstanding in the main event itself, and we want to try and get through all of this match, if we can, before the next one.
All right,
Dark
Athena
Depths.
just points to a card, and then Dark Depths is the card that gets discarded to the gamble.
And Thespian Stage was the card I believe Toshiya searched for, because it's in his hand and would be a great 2 to target.
Oh, but here's another Thought Knot Seer.
That's brutal.
This can take life from the loam, and
So it's Thespian Stage, Wasteland, double, Grove of the Burn Willows.
wow. Uh-oh.
Oh, but there's a Dark Depths.
It will be in time, I believe. Yes. If Athena plays another threat, it won't be enough. So Athena's going to attack Toshiya to 7. And
she
then
really-
Toshiya has the option to make a 20-20.
What she really needs here is a Sorcerer Spyglass.
Sorcerer Spyglass would lock it up. I think another creature would also do it.
How about
What she drew was Ugin, right? Ugin the Spirit Dragon?
Yeah, she did.
That a little bit far away from that one. Oh, Vesuva. Can that copy Thespian Stage? No, Thespian Stage only hits a land you control.
So there's Vesuva.
Okay.
It does copy Thespian Stage. Enters the battlefield as.
Right, so here comes Dark Depths.
So Dark.
I'd like to copy my Thespian. So the way this works is the Thespian Stage becomes a copy of Dark Depths, but it doesn't have any counters on it. And Dark Depths says whenever it has no counters on it, sacrifice it and make it 20-20.
Now, the thing is here, Toshiya's at 7. If Athena can play the Ugin, she can deal the last 3 points of damage here.
But she can't.
No, wow. So that's 1-0 to Toshiya Kanegawa. We'll go straight into game number 2 because this is Time Walk. Let's see if Froehlich can fight back.
Athena's playing 12 post here, so that refers to the Cloud Post, the Vesuvas, copying Cloud Posts.
Right, so Cloud Post, that's 4. Glimmer Post, those are also locusts that make the power up the Cloud Post. That's 8. And then Vesuvas.
Yeah.
There's only 2, so it's 10 posts
Okay.
technically.
Okay.
But the deck is traditionally known as 12 posts because Athena's got an Eldrazi thing and needs to find rooms for her Eye of Ugins and her Eldrazi temples as well.
Well, here comes
Turn
2 Thought Knot Seer. And there's that Tireless Tracker.
Ah,
There's a drop of honey.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday. One of Marshall and Reed's rounds, there was a drop of honey.
Maze of Ith.
Yeah.
All sorts of old school classics here.
Yeah, I think there's...
But she's going to take the Tireless Tracker.
Yeah. Oh, Dredging Life from the Loam.
So instead of drawing his card for the turn, he's using the Dredge ability, which mills 3 cards and returns Life from the Loam to his hand. Now going to cast Life from the Loam and get back those 2 lands. Could get a third if there was one. And then it's kind of the rinse-repeat stage for this lands deck, right?
This is how the lands deck gets up on cards and there's a ton of resources. Lands do all sorts of crazy things in Legacy. And this is basically Ancestral Recall with Dredge.
Right.
That's a really nice
And
card.
sometimes it's even more. Sometimes it's like opportunity because you can sometimes get back a cycle land. Right? You know, there's something like a tranquil, sheltered thicket, or
there's the dual land, the Amonkhet dual land.
So you
Sheltered
can
Thicket.
cycle that and get an extra card even.
And there's
up a
also a
turn.
Tranquil Thicket in the deck.
Okay. And Athena is looking to get there with the Thought Knot Seer, but things keep mounting here for Toshiya. This is going to get out of hand very quickly, and he's going to have a Maze of Ith to slow down that Thought Knot.
Or just the Drop of Honey, just as a 1 mana kill card, essentially.
There's the Maze.
Goes with the Maze.
There's
And
the drop of Honey. Okay.
Do a little bit of both. Yeah, Drop of Honey decidedly not in the green color pie anymore.
No?
No, it's... I think it's the strongest green kill card, creature removal card.
So at the beginning of your upkeep, destroy the creature with the least power. It can't be regenerated. And then if 2 creatures are tied, you get to choose.
And then it's not just endless. When there are no creatures, you have to sacrifice Drop of Honey.
Can confirm that many of those words you just spoken are not the words written on that particular copy of Drop of Honey. There were still vowels and consonants, but that's kind of where the similarity ends.
Oh, boy. So many of my favorite cards in this lands deck. Here we see an Exploration coming down.
Exploration's wonderful. Oh, wow. Heads-up play from Toshiya here using Athena's Urborg. Maze of Ith can't normally tap for mana.
And then the classic 0.2 Urborg to show you why I'm tapping Maze of Ith for mana.
Right.
Play a Wasteland. Play a Ghost Quarter. Eat 2 of your lands.
Oh, wow. Dear.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Athena.
Oh, just in time. Leyline of the Void. Leyline's not cards you normally want to draw.
Yeah.
So I think this is just...
this is just exactly where the lands deck wants to be.
I think Athena won't get to play a second, have 2 lands on the battlefield for the remainder of this match.
Yeah, and, obviously Toshiya needs to find a way to kill her, but that is inevitably going to happen.
I think he already has a crop rotation.
Oh, okay.
So crop rotation will
in
let
fact,
him find Dark Depths.
He just drew a card as normal. That turn didn't even bother with the Life from the Loam.
Right. So here comes the Ancient Tomb, Chalice for 1. I think Toshiya has a response.
But in response to that, he is going to crop rotation. Bye-bye Maze of Ith.
Well, let's find the Dark Depths.
There's the Dark Depths. Thespian Stage will copy it. And Marit Lage will make an appearance. Unfrozen from a block of ice. A Cthulian Nightmare appears. And finishes off Athena Froehlich. Toshiya Kanegawa wins 2-0 over Athena Froehlich.
All right, so there we are. That is the end of round number 9. As you can tell behind us, players are getting ready for round number 10.
Nice.
So are we. We've got some awesome, more cool fun decks coming your way. It is possible that after we had the Soldier Stompy where every card was equivalent to goblins, we thought we might show the goblins that were the equivalent to the soldiers.
So now that you're all experts on Soldier Stompy, let's try some goblins.
Yeah, so we
might see some parallels.
We might see some goblins coming up in a bit. Also some mono red prison coming up. So plenty to keep you occupied through round number 10 of Good Morning Magic, which will be coming up after these short messages.